Hello, and welcome back. In this CMMI Tech Talk, we will continue to explore the important role of the appraisal sponsor. In Part 1, we focused on the appraisal sponsor's role prior to an appraisal. Here, in Part 2, we are focusing on the appraisal sponsor's role during the conduct phase of the appraisal. During Phase 2, the appraisal sponsor's activities are relatively limited. Depending on the conduct and results of this phase, the sponsor continues to play an important role. The first thing the appraisal sponsor will need to be involved with is the opening brief. Most often, this constitutes one of the first activities of Phase 2 of the appraisal. The appraisal team leader conducts the briefing. The sponsor is invited to provide input on the importance of the appraisal for the organization, as doing so encourages the organizational unit participants to be part of the solution. The appraisal proceeds with the team reviewing the relevant objective evidence provided to them. The sponsor may be asked to attend an interview. Often, this is related to one practice area in particular, governance. This relates to how the sponsor and other senior managers ensure the organization's process landscape supports its overall direction and business goals. Sometimes, this interview with senior management may address other areas, like how measurements are used to provide insight into work progress and quality. Another area senior managers and sponsors can often help the team understand is how process improvement itself is managed. As with all interviews, any interview with the sponsor is conducted under the strict rules of confidentiality. Another important area of focus for the appraisal team is completing and validating the performance report. This is a mandatory deliverable of a benchmark appraisal and is provided to both the sponsor and ISACA at the end of the appraisal. As the name implies, the performance report focuses on the results the current set of processes are achieving after adopting CMMI. The report can provide useful feedback to sponsors on how business results are being affected by implementation of the processes. Often, during the appraisal team will consult with the sponsor regarding the inputs used to construct the performance report. Depending on the results of the appraisal team leader, known as the ATL, may meet with the sponsor to discuss how the appraisal will work. This may be especially important if risks are realized or issues block successful completion of the appraisal. At the end of the appraisal, the team will provide its conclusions to the organization in a final findings presentation, which details, along with any required ratings, the strengths, weaknesses, and improvement opportunities the team has identified. It is important to remember that CMMI is a model of best practices. Areas identified as a weakness indicate where the organization's processes did not meet best practice guidance. These should not necessarily be perceived as a bad thing. Instead, they should be considered a basis for information that will enable an organization to perform even better. The sponsor should attend the final findings presentation and may be asked to provide closing comments on conclusion of the conduct phase. The final findings presentation is also a great opportunity for the appraisal team to review the performance report with the organization. This report helps the appraisal team verify the appraisal findings and allows the organization to see how its measurements have progressed during the performance improvement journey. The appraisal team leader is required to review the performance report with the appraisal sponsor and may recommend an alternative or additional review session. In some cases, the appraisal team leader may conduct an optional executive briefing with the sponsor and his or her team. This briefing can take place before or after the final findings presentation. Sponsors are encouraged to take advantage of the briefing, as this is frequently an excellent opportunity to talk to the appraisal team leader and the team about the most significant findings to get useful insights. More resources are available in the MDD Appraisal Planning and Conduct Toolkit, available in the ATL dashboard. Thank you for your time. As always, please contact us with any questions you may have.